Welcome back to another month of TVGP's Game Club. This time we're playing Minishoot Adventures. I'm your host, Boston, and playing this on the personal computer. I'm joined, as always, by Moonpeer.
Hi, Series X. Wait, no, PC. It's not even out on the X. Why is that my default?
it's just your knee
It's
jerk.
ingrained in my brain.
And Musum.
Steam Deck.
Let's talk a little bit about the game here real quick. Released April 2nd, 2024. Developed and published by Soul Game Studio. As we talked about, released on PC. Two quick mentions here. One is it appears based on the intro message of the game, as well as the credits of this game. It's a two-person studio. Also, like to kind of describe the game here for those that aren't playing along with us, and the best description for this one is a twin-stick Zelda.
Yes,
Zelda 1
that
specifically.
is.
Yes, Zelda 1 specifically.
Yes. That is how I was sold on this game, essentially.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
No, go. I was about to start giving opinions. I'll wait.
Okay. Time travel, Metacritic 87, OpenCritic 88. Peers for the release date. 2024 has been really good for indie games, so I could probably list about 500 other games, but we'll talk about Grounded's PlayStation release here. Aiden Chronicle 100 Heroes, Tales of Kenzera Zhao, Another Crab's Treasure, Saga Emerald Beyond, Stellar Blade, Animal Well, Crow Country, Little Kitty, Big City, and about 50 other games that came out just that same month. So check the Wikipedia page if you want pages and pages and pages of additional releases there. We're going to ask the question we ask every month. Was this game top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
Overlooked. I only heard about this because two people were like, yo, I tried this game, it's really good. And then they recommended it to their friends, and then they said it was really good, and then they recommended it to their friends, and they said it was really good. So I was like, maybe I should check this out.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jana Choa.
On the one hand, I'd never heard of it before. On the other, we did play it within like a month and a half of release or 2 months of release or something.
Sure, yeah.
Right? So I'm gonna go middle of the pack.
Yeah, I'm between middle of the pack and overlooked, because I think I've been following a lot more indie promotion accounts on Twitter ever since 2024 is incredible for great indie games. So a bunch of them have been promoting it this past month, 2 months. But I feel like it's probably going to be a little bit overlooked until it hopefully comes to consoles. If it does, then I feel like it could probably take off like a wildfire. So
yeah.
Hopefully you're listening to this in the future and saying like, yeah, it really took off. Heck yeah, Minishoot. So,
Is that a spaceship pun?
I don't know. Maybe. All right, let's talk about the game itself here. What we liked, what we didn't like. Musum, I'll let you start because you're chomping at the bit here.
I don't see how two people made this game. It's
impressive.
This is a super polished game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I can't.
Two people.
Yep.
Two people. Let's just reiterate that as many times as we can for the rest of this episode.
That's wild.
Yeah. When I know it told me at the front, and I think I immediately forgot it. And then the credits rolled. I'm like, oh, how?
Yeah.
How
Dang,
it
really was two of you.
Have the time and precision and ability. Like I think this game is amazing. Like it's
yeah.
I have negative things for my play experience, but for the most part, I've been telling all my friends to play this as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
This is it is such a fun environment to run around in and solve in. And granted, like my play time to beat the game, and I didn't do the arenas, was 15 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And that is because I got stuck because I didn't buy the upgrade to highlight points of interest. I waited at least a long time to buy it because I found everything really easy, and then I got stuck for 2 hours. I'm like, what am I missing? What have I not done?
I never bought that upgrade.
Really?
Yeah, I never had enough of the red coins or whatever because I was always buying
The gun.
the gun
The
upgrade.
gun.
Yeah, the
Always
gun.
get the gun.
Yeah, it's too strong. I burned through the final boss in this game because I had the gun's damage upgraded and the gun level upgraded to the max. I mowed my way through that final boss. It was incredible.
Yeah. Well, and was it are you talking the final boss or the final?
Pretty much any of them because I had some trouble on the like sort of post game final boss because one of the surprising, so I guess here, spoilers for Minishoot
Spoilers
Adventures. If
alert,
you haven't
yes,
played it, if you're still
100%.
listening to this point, you haven't played it, it's $15. Go buy it and go play it. Um, I was surprised at how much post campaign stuff or like post story stuff there was. Because I thought you'd beat the final boss and be like, yeah, man, all right, see you later. But there's not even kind of discounting
Is the
the
trials the last thing I need?
that's the last thing I'm on is those like arena based like combat
Oh,
trial things.
that's the thing I haven't done.
I haven't beaten all of those. I've beaten I think 2 or 3 of them, and I'm like, okay, yeah, those all right, those are for real. Those are pretty difficult, sure. Um, but I was surprised that there was like because I was gonna go collect the extra key and all the other powers and all that stuff. And by the time you collect all that stuff, you open that final area. It's like, yeah, man, here's a pretty tough boss. Here's another one. It's like, oh, dang, all right, cool, appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
I did all that stuff before I beat the final. Uh, the we need a better way to differentiate this. So you first beat the final boss. He has 2 forms,
Yep.
The
and
big
then
hut.
you leave there, and then you go and you have to fight him again.
Yeah.
And I think I did all the stuff, so I immediately went from that fight to the final fight.
Oh, okay.
And I was like the boss fights are occasionally fun, but they're kind of the least fun aspect of the game to me.
Mm.
They are
So
the
when I
most
got
bullet
that,
hell.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's a playable bullet hell for me though, so like I generally enjoy it. But that last one was just it was late. I'm like, you know what? I just want to see this through. So I looked in the menu for options, and they have an invincible option. So I just
Oh, nice.
turned that on and beat the last guy and called it quits. And maybe someday I'll go back for the arena. I am a little sore because there's a fly I couldn't find, and I'm pretty sure I know which dungeon it's in. And I have spent hours in that dungeon looking for what in the world I have missed.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
there was one kind of like connected structure in the upper left hand corner that took me forever to find one of those like flies you win the race against.
Mm.
That one took me forever to find. Thankfully, I did really appreciate. I don't remember what upgrade it got, or if it just did it by default. The person that marks you pick up one of the map pieces, bring it to them, they put it on the big map, and then they mark a check mark next to everywhere you've completed. I really, really appreciate that in this game because it's a lot of like, I went through that cave, I thought I found everything. All right, I have a check mark, I can move on. But like, I'm looking for more of those races. All right, I have these like 4 caves I've gone into, but I haven't completed yet. I've missed something, or I know I need to like scour this area a little bit deeper. So I greatly appreciate that because I didn't have to pull up like a YouTube map or some Wikipedia, page about this game.
Well, and
Yes.
those 2 hours I was stuck. At one point, I did give up and go to the internet, and there is nothing.
Yeah, I also
Nope.
found that.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
I ran into a problem because I made the big mistake of games like this, which is like you get halfway through a dungeon, then you have to go do something. So you come back and you're halfway through that dungeon and you have no idea what you've already done or where you're going or what's happening. And I lost probably about 2 hours on my playthrough on that as well, where I'm like, oh, cool, I'm in the middle of this thing. Okay, I gotta try and backtrack and figure out where I'm going and where I missed, and oh boy. So,
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's not the game's fault. Um,
Going into the, oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
I'll let you go because I was just gonna have more of a wrap up thing.
My comment was more just all day I've been thinking about what to say about this game, other than I really, really liked it, and
Yeah.
everyone should play it. And I was just having a really tough time, like because so much of it is mechanics. Like
Right.
even you mentioning the spoilers, like can we actually spoil this game? Like I don't know that we can.
A lot of
Like
it for me is like part of what I find fun about games like this, especially kind of an adventure game like this or a Metroidvania. As more people make them, I think these games kind of bucking the formula, I think gets really interesting. So it's like, how many Metroidvanias are we playing now that don't have a double jump, or like double jump is the
Yes.
last thing you get an upgrade for?
Yeah, or double jump is a weird alien spaceship robot that you throw.
Right, like it's kind of messing with expectations, and I feel like this game has a pretty good amount of that in here, even though it might not seem like it. Like the boss of the desert zone is just wandering around the map. It's not actually in the dungeon. Like the boss of the fourth zone is dead already by the time you get to
Mm-hmm.
it. Like there's some cool stuff there where it's not the Zelda formula of you go into a dungeon, you get the ability that you need to use to clear that dungeon and fight the boss, and then as soon as you do that, that gets you the ability to go to the next area. There is quite a bit of that, but I think there's some stuff in there that is kind of playing with expectations in a way that I think is really interesting. And I I I like that there's some sort of additional mystery stuff because I think I have also been struggling with this game. I finished it, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, as I started playing it, and I was like, oh, cool, I'm just going to play this as my only thing until I wrap it up because this game is really very incredible. Um, but the hard part about talking about this game is so much of its strength is that it just feels good to play. Like
yeah.
the
Yes.
shooting feels good, the dodging feels great, all of the abilities feel great, and each additional upgrade you get for your ship is like, oh well, now you can dash. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Oh, now you can dash through bullets, and it's like, oh, okay, that's incredibly helpful. And like all of the movement feels great. I never felt like I got hit because the game was tricking me or anything. Like I always felt like I got hit because I wasn't paying attention or I ran out of battery and I couldn't dash through something. Like something was usually my fault, or I wasn't paying attention, and that feels really good in a game like this. This game never felt mean.
Yeah. Like I'm not a I like the idea of bullet hells, but like I can't do Twitch games
Mm-hmm.
anymore.
We're
Yeah.
Like
old, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a small miracle that someone made a bullet hell that I could enjoy.
Yeah.
And the bullets get pretty intense, like,
They get pretty hellish.
but it's also pattern based. You just kind of learn the patterns, and as long as you're kind of keeping yourself in, and another huge strength this game has that I wish every game would do is respecking is free.
Oh, it's
Um,
so good.
I
Mm-hmm.
respect nearly every dungeon. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what, I could really, I need a little bit more range in this dungeon, or I need a little bit more speed in this dungeon.
Yep.
Um, just super helpful. Um, and I hate the old, oh, you got to pay half your gold to do this.
Right. And it'll cost more
Respect
the
is free.
next time. It's like, oh man, come on.
It's like,
Yep.
you know what, game, it's your fault that I'm not familiar enough whether I like the other abilities or not
Right.
mine. Uh,
Yeah, it's also interesting too because like we've been impressing upon, this game is pretty incredible for being a two-person team. There's so much game in here. It's not like a one dungeon 2 hour long sort of thing. Like it's 4 dungeons, a final dungeon, a really big overworld that I'm not entirely sure I've still seen all of. I feel like there's still secrets in like the riding a turtle area that I still haven't seen. But like there's just a metric ton of stuff in this game. Like it's well designed from a world and dungeon standpoint, but it's really well designed as well from a like gameplay standpoint. Like I feel like some games, some game developers for a game like this might not want to do it, but I think this game has helped so much by having your bullets have a little bit of magnetism, so they kind of curve a little bit, especially as you get more upgrades. They kind of fan your bullets out. They naturally kind of bend back towards your targets, which I think makes it that helps the feel of it go a long way to just feeling fun to play and feeling good to play, instead of being like, oh, it's the Dark Souls of, you know, twin stick Zelda shooters. It's like, no, man, like we made a game that's has some difficulty options. I played on the normal difficulty. I didn't play on the highest one, but like it's a good enough challenge and to be fun without being, you know, overly punitive.
And yeah, and like we haven't really talked about how it looks. Like it's simple art, but it's really nice. Like clean lines the whole way around.
Very charming.
Like yes.
Yeah.
It's really good animations. It's got a great style. Like
Yep.
half of how it looks is why I'm like, how is this a 2-person team?
Yeah. It's wild. I have been like you, Misum. I've been really struggling the last couple of weeks just to be like, all right, I really liked this game. Now, how the hell do I talk about it to try and get people to play it, other than it's a twin stick Zelda that you really need to play, and it's only like $15. And it seems like it will run on pretty much anything, because it's a fairly lightweight game.
Yeah.
Man,
I was shocked. I didn't realize until this podcast that this didn't come out on consoles. So like,
yeah,
this game has to explode once it hits consoles. Like,
it's one of those things that at least needs to come out on Switch, because I feel like it could absolutely kill over there. But like I hope it comes out to more stuff, because I just want more people to play it, because it's easily one, unless like 15 other better games come out this year, it's a lock on my top 10 for this year.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is just kind of, part of it for me is like, all right, you mixed, you hear twin stick Zelda and you're like, yeah, okay, sure, buddy, like whatever, we're mushing a whole bunch of stuff together now, right? Like, okay. But then you play it and you're like, okay, yeah, no, that's it. It's a twin stick Zelda. You guys managed to figure it out, and you made a hell of a thing that is just really, really, really great.
Yeah.
So another detail, actually, I just thought of that I want to mention. So much of this game is based around you finding secrets, and they are really, really good at having graphics that are just slight, that you can miss but are there. So like if you're looking for like the shadow in front of the wall or the light in front of the wall or whatever it is in whatever area you're in, you may find a hidden door type of thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like the first time you find one of those like overhangs that you can drive under, and there's like a whole pathway there. It's like, man, I thought that wall looked weird, and now you're kind of looking throughout the entire game for those, and every time you find one, you're like, it's like finding something behind a waterfall in a game. You're like, yeah, there's something back there. I'm cool.
It's and like I feel like it's a couple hours in where they kind of make you do that to progress to an extent. And I remember when that started happening, I'm like, oh crap, I'm not even sure what makes sense for me to go to next. Like,
right.
But gosh, this
game's great.
It's not like Brad a giant bomb. I would be surprised if we 10 games better than Brothers came out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bring up a 20-year-old or 15-year-old joke. Sorry.
Well, Misum, what kind of final thoughts do you have here for Minishoot Adventures?
I think whether you think you'll like it or not, you should give it a shot
Yeah.
because it's really freaking good.
Yeah.
And it's a game that I think would help that you actually played because it feels really good to play. And I don't know if you're going to get that out of watching a video.
Yeah. Yeah. Moon, what are your final thoughts?
Um, don't let like the style like put you off from it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that this is going to be a shorter episode distract from it either, because the problem we have is there's not a lot of story you can talk about here.
All right. The story that's
Um,
in here is fine,
it's
but
very simple. It's very par for the course.
yeah,
You
it's
might
kind of
say.
what you'd expect.
Like the charm of this game is it's it's the look, it's the feel, it's the vibe, it's the controls. It's well worth your time.
Yeah.
Thank God for Bluetooth devices that work. I will say that much.
Hooray! Yeah, I
Yep.
played this through my Steam Link for this, and it worked super, super, super well. It just
You know,
go ahead.
that's the other shocking thing is they have all the control scheme options when you select gamepad in the game, like between Xbox and
Yep.
PS5, and
Yep.
I feel like they even had something for Switch in there. So I guess that's my extra surprise that it's not out on those yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess two-person team is why. So
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with both of you. This is a hell of a game, and this is going to be one of those games that I'm kind of annoying about for the next couple of years. It was like, oh, you're looking for something to play? How weird. Let's pick up Minishoot Adventures. Here, it's $15. I'll just buy you a copy. You don't have $15? That's cool. I'll buy you a copy. Here you go. It's a couple hours. Enjoy. So look forward to that on the show for the next couple of years of Minishoot Adventures. But yeah, I don't have much else to add other than, like Moon said, don't let this be a short episode sort of turn you off from it. You should absolutely play this. It is that good.
Yeah, definitely give it a shot.
Yeah. Let's talk about our next game here, though. We're going to be playing for the next month. We're going to be playing Botany Manor. Came out on Switch, PC, and Series consoles. Does not appear to be, at the time of recording, out on PlayStation platforms or Xbox One. So please keep that in mind. I'll be playing that for the next month. Hopefully you will join us and play along. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.
ah.
We